Hi, my name is Hanna Gemmell. I am a freshman at Furman University, which is in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm 18, and I'm applying to be a head counselor. So, the first question is, what is your shining moment that went unnoticed last year? So, I had a camper with a conflict problem where a lot of rumors unfortunately went around camp about her, and when people would bring them up to her, she would get very verbally aggressive in their face, yelling the whole works. It was not great, and a lot of times it was out of counselor sight, and I would have to hear about it from other kids. And so one day I decided I was just gonna talk to her one-on-one, just kind of get where her head's at. And I understood why she was yelling. She obviously was defending herself, and so I made that clear to her. I was like, I understand it, I get it, but I said there are alternatives to that. And I presented to her that I'm a person that she can just walk away from the situation and just go get. If she is confronted with these rumors, that I'm a person that I'm going to, no questions asked, like, I'm just going to trust that she's leaving for a reason, and that I'm a person that she can tell things to, that if she gets in a situation where someone's bringing the rumor, that I can go fix it, that I'm a person that is able to handle that and shut it down. And so her and I talked for a while and ended up becoming super close. We bonded about a lot of other things too. And this talk was about Wednesday in the week. And Thursday, Friday, she actually did come up to me at different points and say, hey, this was brought to my attention, or this was brought to me, this was a rumor. And I went and handled it. And I felt like this brought her a lot of peace because she didn't feel like she had to be the only one fighting for herself, and that it didn't have to happen in such an aggressive way. So the second question is, tell us about a time when you worked with a camper and needed a little extra help connecting with camp or campers. I had a camper week 9 who was very self-conscious about her weight. This is especially after the giant swing when she felt like she didn't go as high as the other girls. And I ended up working with her just to show her that she had people in the cabin who did love her, and I did love her not because of how she looked or any of that, but because of her personality and who she was. And I just worked with her consistently to make her feel validated, and she ended up fitting in so well with the girls in the cabin. The girls in the cabin would even come up to her when they saw that she looked a little upset, asking her why, what was wrong, and like telling her like, no, you're beautiful, like we love you no matter, like none of that matters to us. And it was really good to see her embrace that, because she ended up being very happy towards the end of the week, leaving the week feeling like she did have friendship in the cabin, and her weight wasn't limiting her, which wasn't even a factor at all for most of the girls in the cabin. They just thought she was super funny, super nice, and wanted to be around her. So something I'm working on from last summer, I would like to work on separating my personal emotion from like conflict scenarios or problem scenarios, because I know sometimes I get very upset when I hear that kids are going through things or that kids aren't just having a good time. It makes me very personally upset, and I want to leave that home and just bring all the good emotions and like the fun and being able to like turn scenarios or handle them with grace and be able to figure it out in a way that doesn't cause more problems. I think that would be really good to work on, just to make sure that the kids are feeling like the person who's leading them is able to handle whatever comes across. And I think there's also finding balance between too much emotion and not enough, where the kids feel like I'm empathetic enough that they can talk to, but also that I'm strong enough to handle whatever they bring to me. Briefly demonstrate a skill or a special talent. So I didn't know if you wanted me to like physically show a skill or talk about a skill I think I have, so I'll do both. Quickly, I can bend the tips of my fingers without bending the middle part. That's just a quick little physical skill. And another skill I think I have is, as I said, I'm super empathetic, and I think that helps me connect with the kids because they feel like they can talk to someone who gets them and cares about them in a way that sometimes doesn't come across when kids try to talk to adults. And I always like to try to put myself in their shoes, and I feel like I've gotten very comfortable doing that and seeing where they're coming from, where instead of me watching a kid constantly never want to do anything or always feels like they're holding the cabin behind, I can put myself in a position to see maybe why versus that kid's a bad kid, because most kids aren't bad kids. They have something that's keeping them from having the best time, and it's my job to figure that out. So I feel like that's a good skill I have. Pick one of the following questions. How would you describe camp to someone who has never been? I would describe camp as a place to challenge yourself to grow in love for yourself, others, and natures, and just connect yourself to yourself, others, and nature. And I think it's so important that at this camp, that it's so inclusive, it's so loving. Like physically, it looks like any other camp, but the feeling you get from it is unmatched. It's unmatched because more in recent years, not only are we praising the outgoing, energetic kids, we've also created a culture that we support kids who aren't as energetic or as loud, where we're supporting the kid who just wants to sit and read a book by sitting with them, talking to them, or just asking them what they're reading and showing interest in what they're interested in. And I think that's been really cool too. So I think it's just a place where you can cultivate friendships in a non-judgmental environment and just somewhere where you can feel loved being who you are, no matter who you are. There is no camp persona that needs to be shown. It's just who you are at camp. It's not, oh, I'm this person at camp, but it's I'm myself, but I'm bringing myself to camp. And that's what's really important to me. And so that's why I love camp. And that's it for my interview.